What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome to the newest episode of the Toronto Huskies. Now, this is just going to be a shorter episode, kind of what have you missed? You know, before every new season starts on Netflix, they give you that 2 to 3 minute kind of primer before the season begins. Week 1 against the LA Rams is going to take place this Sunday, so you don't want to miss it on that. But I know there's probably, 40% of you that were unable to turn into the Twitch stream for the offseason, know what's going on. And you saw the 40-minute off-season stream recap that I put on YouTube. You're like, I'll wait a little bit. So this is for you. This is for everyone to get caught to speed for the most ridiculous franchise mode going on the YouTube. So if you missed a couple episodes, you're going to go, whoa, C4, where is all of your team at? Well, the Canada Bill. If you don't know, you've lived under a rock and you're watching this, what the Canada Bill was. Essentially, Sean McCoy got very pissed off that we benched him. He decided to leave the team and kind of took advantage of the hostile environment, hostile relationship right now between Donald Trump and Canada, and was able to slide through a one-time bill that was last offseason that any player, because essentially they're playing out of country, they're on work visas to play in Canada, they could have their contract null and void at no expense to the team, so we're able to, there's no cap penalties, leave and move on. And I feel like a lot of the guys liked it, but some of them don't like my management style. They want to get out. Some of them were homesick. Some of them had issues getting certain supplements into Canada. So we were pretty much depleted. We had, Zay Jones, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Samuels are the only, and Wyatt Teller are the only players returning on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, we got Jordan Poyer, Jarrett Davis, Tremaine Edmonds, Dakota Allen, Mike Hilton, Greedy Williams, Harrison Phillips, Rasheem Green, and Tre'Davious White. And actually, Mr. Last Chance U himself, John Franklin. So, that's realistically a fifth of the roster left the team. So we had to address it in the draft. And draft day, we thought we were going to have to build the offensive line. We pretty much need to rebuild. We got Zach Shackelford, really, really talented center from Texas. We looked at bringing in, players that anyone, just straight up anyone. Preston Williams, Colorado State, nice little player. Defensively, we were able to draft Nick Coe, 76 overall, star dev player from Auburn. This guy's going to be a big-time playmaker. We had Anthony Nelson, monster from Iowa, 6'7", 260, quick dev. Not bad, but we didn't have a whole lot of draft picks. And what we thought was our building blocks going into the draft, out of nowhere, Josh Allen decided to sign right at the deadline the Canada Bill. And this was something that was broken to me in chat. You guys must have heard some murmur out there on the interwebs. I didn't know. I thought Josh Allen was on my team. I was kind of blindsided. So what we did was we actually traded Josh Allen to the only team that was actually offering us fair value, which was a first-round pick, which is what we're looking for, the New England Patriots. So as of right now, Josh Allen is on the New England Patriots. I don't know if he's going to be a long-term, if he's a starter yet, but there you go. We're going to be taking on Josh Allen twice a year. Oh boy, get ready for that. Luckily enough, where we were selecting, Tua Tagovailoa, one of the most prolific quarterbacks in college right now, was still available. 79 star dev player. So we're not really losing a whole lot, but essentially we are losing 1 year of development because, if you're trying to compare him to where Josh Allen's at, Josh Allen also has a star dev. Josh Allen is an 81 overall, but he was a scheme fit, and he is goddamn dangerous. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what the future holds for our offense. Now, where we're sitting right now, we still have a lot of roster spots. So I figured at the end of the stream, we ended with the last week of the preseason, which as you can see at the very top, we lost to the New Orleans Saints 38-24, which means we went 0-4 in the preseason. Not a good look. Not a good look. No momentum for this team. But I wanted to kind of wait till the final roster cuts were done so we could fill out our roster. And we have 12 spots. I don't necessarily want to fill or have to fill all 12 of those spots, but let's take a quick look here at free agency and see what kind of players could be of interest to us. So we're going to start actually at the tight end spot. I like having 3 tight ends in my roster, and what we need right now is a blocking tight end, and I found that this guy, Ben Broniker from Harvard, blocking tight end, suits our needs. He has 89 speed as well. But as you can see, 70 pass blocks, 70 impact blocking, all right, lead blocking and stuff. But the run blocking, that's what we need. For a third tight end, he's usually the guy at the end of the line that needs to, be able to maintain his blocks and help set an edge. So we're going to bring him in. Next up at left tackle, this was a fairly easy pick. It was a player that we wanted to get during the live stream, but he wasn't available. I had a high confidence level that he would at some point be cut, and that is Jordan Mailata, the rugby star on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the key is here. we are going to assign him to left tackle. And what we are going to do is we're going to flip our current left tackle turned fullback hybrid, who's a pretty big athlete, Avante Collins. As you see, 83 speed, great strength. We're actually going to switch him to the left tackle spot. And we're going to have Jordan Mailata, as a rugby player by trade, has a lot of traits that you want to look for in a fullback. Obviously has some blocking ability, but the athletic upside, I feel like that is going to make him that much better than what we're getting. And I mean, look, he's not even that much better of an athlete, but let's be honest. He's a 70 versus 56. He already is a better player. So we could take Avante Collins and make him back into a left tackle, be some athletic depth, because that's what I'm looking for in my offensive lineman right now. I want some athletes. So adding to the team, which, I don't think we're going to fill this whole roster. Another left tackle, another tackle in general could be on the boards, but I'm more so here looking at improving the team just in general, anywhere. So we got another one, Danny Isadora from the U, great athlete, 83 acceleration, 86 strength, good enough for me. You can play left and or right guard, as well as I like Isaac Asiata from Utah. We're getting a lot of Samoans. I like the 9-2 strength. Strength is kind of rare right now for free agents. We'll sign him and we'll convert him over to left guard. There was a wide receiver that I've been interested in quite some time. I just want to get some depth here. We don't need to sign any new starters. This is the guy, height, weight, speed, that I think could be potent for us on the outside if we have to ever get, down and dirty, down and deep. Ooh, I didn't even know he got cut. Well, he's a scheme fit. It wasn't the guy we're going to get. Originally, I was going to get Ratley down here. He's right here from the Cleveland Browns. 6'3", 200 pounds, had 93 speed, 92 acceleration. I did not see Equinemius St. Brown when I was kind of perusing through here, so let's add him up to the squad. And then there's one guy, one target on the defensive side of the ball that I think can be an instant starter for us, at least in a rotational role, and that is Chase Vinovich from Michigan. If you watch the Michigan All or Nothing, he's a pretty prominent player there. 6'3", 255, 73 overall, got good athletic traits, acceleration is not bad, tackling solid. He's just a well-rounded player. He's a number 53 ranked right end in the league right now, and he's still sitting there on free agency at 24. We could sign him to the practice squad. I would like to lock him up here on a one-year deal. And the rest of the guys there, you're kind of picking through the scraps a little bit. So in a final primer, I mean, we still have to have some tryouts here for the team. I would like to add another running back if possible, maybe another quarterback. We always take in, tryouts for wide receivers. You never know. You're a height, weight, speed guy. You're a CFL player, man. There's always CFL players that are looking to make that jump to the National Football League. You're always welcome here for the Toronto Huskies. But this is going to be our team. I don't know if we should really mess with the schemes a whole lot. 82% is vertical run, West Coast power run. I mean, vertical power run. Yeah, that's vertical zone run. I mean, there's no real difference. We'll stay with the vertical zone run. Base 4-3, 46. The 46 is like the cheese. Everyone's good with the 46. So that's nothing too drastic. So I guess from this standpoint, I should show you what my updated sliders are going to be. I know a lot of you guys will be interested in that. If not, bear with me for another minute or two as we wrap up this primer episode. But I'll be showing you guys what sliders that we're going to be rocking and rolling on here in year 2 of the Huskies. All right, first up are my modified XP sliders. Now, I don't want to hold you guys up too long. If you really want to, the best way to do it, just pause the video, write down these amounts. These are also what I'm using in my rebuilds. I've tweaked these a bunch of times. They're not drastically different, but they got to be higher, man. And it's all about the approach you want to take with your sliders. And mine are, these sliders are to give you a somewhat realistic feel. Things only ever get crazy if you have a bunch of superstars on your team. If you have just star devs, quick devs, normal devs, you develop really, really nicely. But ultimately, the end goal is your guy starts to regress at like 28, 29, and then once you get in the 30s, it's 2 points, 3 points here, 4 points every year. You need to be able to stockpile some of these points. Players' values need to be slightly overrated while they're in their prime, so that 3-4 years down the road, not all these old guys are like in their 70s, because that's just unrealistic. And until they add regression sliders, which drastically needs to be in here. These are the levels you need to do, and I think you should overcompensate for the sliders, not try to make these as realistic as possible, because you really feel it when it's time for your player to regress, as unfair as it may be. So, and these are currently what I'm using for my gameplay slide. I guess I should show this real quick, the league settings. We are actually going to keep it on all Madden for the time being. and we'll be able to work our way down if the cheese gets so bad. But I already know I'm probably going to regret this, but pretty much all Madden Sim is the only you need to know. I turn off pre-existing injuries. I just have injury off for the preseason because, you know, it is what it is. I don't like them there. Everything else, yeah, pretty much stays the same. And then when we're actually looking at the gameplay sliders, these are still, I'm not ready to say these are my final gameplay sliders, but these are what I'm using right now. The biggest issue is it felt like after the last Madden patch, it screwed up the sliders that I thought were working perfectly. And the biggest issue for me has been the computer completing passes. So this was originally 85. I've knocked it down to 70. And actually what I'm going to do is make it 65 right now. Because remember the last game, it was kind of outrageous. I made the QB accuracy. Originally, they were both 50-50. Now I've made it 60. I've actually also jumped up their wide receiver catching a couple points higher than what mine is, because I mean that's the worst thing. I don't know how you actually change it, but it just seems like the play calling has changed. But after this last couple patches, before it felt like the computers, you know, it felt different. It felt unique. It felt better than last year's Madden game. They're actually calling pass plays when they should, not just running it twice and then going for it on 3rd and long. That really messes up the game flow. And I feel like after the last couple patches, teams are just not calling the right kind of plays. So until we really find a good mold, because the reason why I say this as well is I haven't played a lot of this since the last patch, like the beginning of October patch. So I will definitely update these after a couple games and see how I can get them to work. But this is what I'm working with right now. And as always, like I said, guys, I don't want to go super in-depth in it. Just pause the video if you want to match the totals. So those are my sliders. Now let's wrap up this long, well, it's pretty condensed introduction. So as we get ready for season number 2, I'm always open to suggestions. If you guys want me to, per se, have 2 games per episode, unless there's some storyline that's happening, if that was the format that you guys enjoyed, I can definitely stick to something like that. If there was anything else you guys want to see, maybe that other franchise modes are doing that you think you would love to see in the Huskies, let me know, man. I'm always looking for suggestions and improvements and thoughts to make this entire series the most entertaining series that you guys can find on the YouTube. So yeah, the first week here, if it's only 1 game or it's 2 games, will be this Sunday. So you guys definitely don't want to miss it on that. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, it's C4. He's coming.